Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
The man in the car could not move his hands, nor could he jump out of the car. He could only contort his face and watch as the car drove toward a wall. Bam! The car crashed straight into the wall, and the man saw himself at death's door. Nicole walked toward the car and checked on the man. He was still breathing. She took out a bottle of water and dumped the contents on the man's head. He slowly opened his eyes but seemed to be in a daze. Nicole pulled him by his hair to make him look at her. "How does it feel to almost die? I'll give you one last chance. Tell me where your boss is." This was the first time the man felt such terror. He looked at Nicole, trembling with fear, before reciting the address through the blood in his mouth. Upon getting the address, Nicole let him go. "I'll let you go this time." After that, she turned around and left. The man heaved a sigh of relief. Just as Nicole was about 10 meters away, the car suddenly exploded, lighting both the car and the man in flames. Nicole continued to walk forward without looking back. Soon, the explosion attracted many more of the secret organization's men to the scene. Through the debris, they found that it was their own vehicle. Meanwhile, Nicole followed the address given and saw from afar that all 3 floors of the building were lined with guards. It seemed like that person was telling her the truth. This was the secret organization's military headquarters. Looking at the heavily guarded HQ, Nicole carefully surveyed it before leaving quietly. She then went to a car dealership and went in to have a look. One of the salespeople came over to greet her warmly. "Hello, Ms. What sort of car are you looking to buy? I can show some to you." Nicole glanced at her and asked, "What's the sturdiest car you have?" "The sturdiest car?" The saleswoman was stunned for a moment and made an incredulous expression when she heard Nicole's question. She had been a salesperson for a long time. This was the first time she heard such a question from a girl. "Are there none? I'll go look somewhere else then." Nicole turned around and walked out. The saleswoman immediately grabbed Nicole's arm, not wanting to lose a potential customer. "Please wait. We're a big showroom. Why wouldn't we have one? We definitely have something that will please you." "Show me." Nicole pushed the saleswoman's hand away. "Of course. Please follow me." The saleswoman led Nicole into the garage, where there were many vehicles. The saleswoman led the way and stopped before a car, saying, "How about this one, Ms.? If it doesn't fit your needs, I'll take you to see an even more powerful one." Nicole gave the car a glance. It only had a few anti-collision beams on the exterior and did not meet Nicole's requirements whatsoever. "This won't do," Nicole said impassively. "No problem. We have more inside." The saleswoman smiled. "I don't have time to browse through them all one by one. Take me to the best one you have," Nicole said with an ice-cold expression. Frightened by Nicole's demeanor, the saleswoman immediately put away her smile as she led Nicole to the innermost part of the garage. "Ms., this is the sturdiest car we have. It should meet your expectations, right?" The saleswoman asked cautiously. She did not dare be overly enthusiastic. Nicole did not answer as she walked to the car to inspect it. "The car looks structurally sturdy enough, but it needs reinforcements." Nicole turned back to the saleswoman. "Do you provide modification and tuning services here?" "We do. You can tell me what you wish to add on." "Take this car to be worked on," Nicole told her. "So, Ms., I take it that you want this car, right?" the saleswoman asked. "Yes, I do." "All right, please go to the front desk to pay first. I'll get the tuner to drive the car over to modify it." The salesperson gestured as she spoke. Nicole took out a card and gave it to the saleswoman. "Take this card and charge it. I want to observe the modification." "All right." The saleswoman took Nicole's card and went to the front desk. Nicole went to the modification room and as she arrived, the master tuner in the garage turned to her. "Hello. What would you like to add to the car? Do you have ballistic armor and windshields?" Nicole asked. "We do, but changing into ballistic windshields is expensive, and you probably won't need it." The master tuner looked at Nicole. She looked like a young adult, but for her to be able to buy this car and install ballistic windshields, she must be very rich. You don't have to try to save money for me. Install all the ballistic windshields, armor, and all other high-spec parts, Nicole told the master tuner. You want ballistic armor as well? The master tuner was shocked. You didn't hear wrong. Hurry up and install them. I'm in a hurry. Nicole sounded impassive. The master tuner worried that the customer was asking him to modify the car without paying first. If that were the case, all his efforts would be for naught. Please wait a moment. I'll confirm things with the front desk for a bit. He called the front desk to clarify the situation. The saleswoman had just completed the transaction when she got the call. After hearing from the master tuner, her jaw dropped. What? She wants to install ballistic armor and windshields. She was shocked. Pass the phone to the customer, please. The front desk wants to speak with you. The master tuner handed the phone over to Nicole. Hello. Hello. I'm the saleswoman who serviced you earlier. I heard that you'd like to install ballistic armor and windshields. The saleswoman questioned. Yes, is there a problem? No, but are you aware of the costs? Do you need me to go over the price list for you? She did not think that Nicole, being such a young lady, would have that much money to add on something that expensive to her car. No need. Just deduct whatever it costs from that card. With that, Nicole returned the phone to the master tuner. She then saw him exchange a few more words before hanging up. Ms., you may go outside to wait and rest. I'll inform you once the modifications are done. It's fine. I'll wait here, Nicole said as she sat down on a chair beside her. Sure. The master tuner did not say anything else as he went to work. As Nicole waited, the saleswoman walked over with a glass of water and placed it beside Nicole. Ms., please have a drink. MHM. Nicole did not spare her a glance, as her gaze was focused on the car being modified. Seeing that Nicole ignored her, the saleswoman quietly left. Time passed, and after the last piece of ballistic armor was installed, the master tuner turned to Nicole and said, Ms., please take a look. The modifications are done as requested. Nicole walked over to the car. As she had been watching the master tuner modifying it, she did not want to waste time checking it all over again. Instead, she decided she would just test its protective capabilities. Catching sight of a big iron hammer near them, she took it and swung at the car. The car was not damaged in the slightest. Seeing that, Nicole was satisfied. But what she did scared the daylights out of the master tuner. This was the first time he saw someone hit a brand new car with a hammer like that. Nicole then turned to the master tuner and said, Thank you for the hard work. Yeah, the master tuner replied, still bearing a stunned expression. Nicole could see the shock on his face. She did not say much as she got into the car and drove off. As she drove, she could feel that the performance of the modified car was indeed different. The only catch was that the gas tank was not filled up, so she had to drop by a gas station to refuel first. After filling up the tank, she then went to a gun shop to purchase some equipment before driving onto Mason Lane. Back at home, Fiorella managed the company's matters before driving to the hospital Jared was at. Miss Fiorella, why are you back so soon? Martin had thought that Fiorella would take a break before visiting again, but apparently not. Dr. Martin, go attend to your business. Leave this place to me. As if she were really his girlfriend, Fiorella took it upon herself to take charge of all of Jared's affairs. Miss Fiorella, I'm not busy today. I can stay here and take care of Jared together with you. It would be easier on you too, Martin replied. Fiorella smiled at Martin. Might as well. It can be quite boring when I'm alone. It was rare to see Fiorella smiling so gently, and Martin could not help but be charmed. Dr. Martin. Fiorella's soft voice pulled him back to reality. I'll go check why the nurse has yet to come in for the medicine run, Martin said somewhat bashfully as he left. Fiorella did not notice Martin's strange behavior and nodded. Okay. After Martin walked out of the ward, he sighed to himself. Martin, what were you doing? staring at her just now? That was rude. Without paying much attention, he then found himself at the nurse's station. Martin walked inside and said, "Mr. Jared's drip should be changed in a bit." "Oh, but the current pack hasn't finished yet, right?" The nurse responded, looking at the time. "I said in a bit. It's not like I'm asking you to go right now." Martin glanced at the nurse before making his way out. He did not want to go back to the ward just yet. Instead, he decided to get some fresh air. Sitting on the bench outside, Martin took out his phone and viewed Nicole's contact profile. He wondered what she was up to and considered giving her a call. But after a while, he gave up on that thought. She's probably working now. Won't be good to disturb her. With that, Martin quietly sat outside by himself for a good while. Inside the ward, Fiorella sat beside Jared and accompanied him as she took out a book and slowly read aloud to him. Every time she went to Jared's office, she would see this book on his desk, so she silently noted down the title and bought an identical copy. The book was hard to find, and she only got it by asking a friend to buy it overseas. Fiorella turned to the part she had left off and continued to read it aloud to Jared. At the same time, just when Martin returned and was about to walk in, he saw the scene through the window by chance. Martin stopped for a moment and slowly let go of the doorknob to not disturb them. Seeing that Jared was doing fine, he turned around and left. Fiorella was reading the book to Jared and did not notice that Martin was outside. From time to time, she would look to Jared for a reaction, but there was no response. Nicole's car slowly entered Mason Lane. There were no other cars on the road, as if the place was dead. The quieter and peaceful the scenery were, the more carefully Nicole observed her surroundings. The car was driving at a steady speed. Suddenly, she noticed something strange in the plains in the distance. She slowed the car down and took out a pair of binoculars to look at the plains. Sure enough, there was an ambush up ahead, hiding in the grass. Noting their position, Nicole prepared herself for a fight. The car did not stop and continued toward the ambush. When the secret organization team hiding in the grass saw the car pass by, they immediately became alert. "Boss, there's a private off-roader here. Seems like it's heading to the base. Do we intercept it?" The team leader reported on the comms. "Intercept it. Intercept every vehicle. We cannot allow anyone to enter the base." "Yes, sir." "Get ready. Stop that car." The team leader ordered. "Yes, sir." Nicole drove at a leisurely pace. Under the sunlight, she was able to notice there was a line of spikes on the road in front of her. Looking at the plains on either side of the road, Nicole slammed her foot on the throttle and sped onwards without hesitation. Immediately, bullets were shot in the direction of the car. Fortunately, the car was protected against the bullets. Nicole drove the car toward the ambushers lying in the grass. To avoid being run over, they had to break cover. Nicole grasped that opportunity to lower the windshield slightly. With lethal precision, she shot the few ambushers dead in an instant. There were still more bullets flying at her, and based on the direction they were coming from, Nicole accurately discerned the shooter's position. She swiveled the car to kick up a cloud of dust and then drove straight for the shooters. Seeing the car charging at them, the secret organization team that were spraying bullets at Nicole had to run in the opposite direction. This time, Nicole was in no hurry to finish them off. She chased after them until they tired out and collapsed onto the ground. Nicole shot at their wrists, and their guns fell to the ground. She then stopped the car before them. She got out of the car and took measure of them. Nicole eyed them with a vicious look and asked, "How many places have you set up for an ambush?" No one spoke as they gritted their teeth and glared at her. "Not talking? Fine then." Nicole knew how to deal with these people. Without hesitating, she took her handgun and shot someone before looking at the rest. "How about now?" Some of them gulped nervously, a look of hesitation flashing across their eyes. Yet, no one spoke. Seeing this, Nicole shot another person. Seeing his team member drop dead before him, one person could not stand it anymore and hissed at Nicole, "Just kill us if you're planning to. You've got guts, but it's misplaced." As she said that, she shot that person in the knee. He immediately cried out loud, the veins on his neck popping out as his leg twitched nonstop. His entire body writhed in pain, his eyes bloodshot. At the same time, Nicole looked at the person next to the one she shot. Before she could open her mouth, that person covered before Nicole's murderous intent and begged for mercy. Witnessing how his comrade had ended up, the man did not want to be the next one. So he swallowed and said with much difficulty, "We have 4 ambush spots." When he spoke those words, his teammate beside him glared at him with bloodshot eyes. But the man did not want to end up like the other 2. He had no other choice. "Where are the other 3? Nicole asked him. "One is at the other entrance and the other 2 at the exits." Similar composition and strength? Nicole continued to question. "About the same." "Who's leading this?" "It's C. C." This was the first time Nicole had heard this name. After getting the information she wanted, Nicole glanced at the 2 remaining ambushers. Such people would continue to do ill if she let them live, so she shot them both before getting back into the car and driving toward Curly's production base. Carl was resting in the base when a subordinate suddenly went up to him to give a report. "K, a vehicle is driving toward us." Carr quickly got up to look at the surveillance monitor console. "Is it the secret organization's car?" It does not look like the secret organization's car, and if it were them, they wouldn't just come with a single vehicle. "By the look of it, it's a private vehicle," the subordinate said. "A private vehicle, huh? Since we cannot confirm anything at the moment, scan it for explosives first," Carl said with caution. "Yes, sir." The subordinate immediately activated a device and scanned the car heading toward the base. Whether it was the secret organization's vehicle or not, he cannot allow it to approach the base so easily, to avoid any peril to the base. "The car up ahead, please stop and stay where you are," Carl commanded through the speakers outside. When Nicole heard Carl's voice, her lips raised a little. It could not be helped that he was unable to recognize her right now, so she followed his command and slowed the car down to a stop. Carl stared at the car that stopped in the distance through the surveillance camera. He felt quite worried. After all, the secret organization's goons were all cunning and treacherous. If they were to disguise themselves as ordinary folk to get close to the base to launch an assault, he had to stop them in advance. "There are no bombs in the vehicle, but there are weapons in it," the subordinate reported. "Weapons?" When Carl heard that, he tensed up even more. "Guards, the vehicle in the distance is armed. It may be the goons from the secret organization. Do not approach," Carl ordered. "Roger." Carl gave a robot which was at the gate another order, "Robot Al, go forward and inspect." After receiving the order, the robot approached Nicole's car. Nicole waited in the car and saw that no one was allowing her in. Instead, a robot was coming her way from inside the base. She now realized that Carl must have taken her for one of the secret organization's goons. Sighing, she opened the door and got out of the car. The robot's tracking and aiming system immediately locked onto Nicole, and her face immediately appeared on the monitor in the central command. When Carl saw that face, he was shocked. "Nicole." At the same time, the robot scanned the weapons that Nicole had on her person and immediately asked Carl if it should engage her or not. Seeing that the droid was about to commence with its attack protocol, he immediately ordered, "Halt, Robot A1. Withdraw. Cancel alert. Guards, allow that car at the distance in." Carl gave the order before rushing downstairs. Nicole watched as the droid began backing away and the main gate opening up. Knowing that Carl had seen her, she got back into the car and drove into the base. After she had reached, Carl was already there to greet her. "Nicole, why are you here?" Carl, who was initially happy, put on an icy look the instant he saw Nicole. "What's with that look? Are you not happy to see me?" Nicole said as he grimaced. Carl looked around and said, "Stay here and guard this place." "You follow me," he said to her. He brought Nicole to the rooftop, after which he turned to look at her. "You didn't bother to even arrange a place for me to rest up. Instead, you've brought me all the way here to the rooftop. Don't you know how exhausted I am?" She raised her eyebrow at him. "How can you come here alone like this? Don't you know how dangerous it is? The exits are all surrounded by members of the Raven? I know. They didn't manage to do anything to me and still lost an entire team, Nicole said confidently, not wanting Carl to worry. You should have told me that you were coming beforehand, so that I could give you a warmer reception, Carl argued, faulting Nicole for not informing him before she came here. Am I not standing before you in one piece right now? She asked. I know you are worried for me, but you know what I'm capable of. Those grunts are no match for me. If there's nothing else, please get a place fixed up for me so that I can get some rest. Nicole raised her eyebrow. Carl sighed as he looked at Nicole in the eyes. You sure drive me up the wall. He then took Nicole to the room next to his. You can stay here if you're not in a hurry to leave. Of course I'm not in a hurry to leave. It took me much effort to get here. And what do you mean by that? You want to see me gone that badly? Nicole snapped back and glared at him. Yeah. It's better if you leave now. Carl, who was standing at the doorway, said flatly. Carl, your fuse sure has become shorter in the days when we've not met. You actually dare to talk to me like this now, huh? Nicole leaned against the bed as she looked at Carl in the eyes with a frown. Carl took a deep breath and turned his face away from her. Either you come in and take a seat, or go. Don't just stand there at the door. Nicole said, sounding somewhat peeved. Although Carl was angry, he did not wish to leave. He had barely exchanged a few words with her after meeting her. Moreover, Nicole was slightly ticked off by his demeanor as well. Closing the door, Carl made a beeline for the chair opposite of Nicole. Why are you here all of a sudden, Nicole? He finally asked. He was so preoccupied at being concerned and angry with her that he forgot to ask her why she was here. Who said I came here all of the sudden? Am I not allowed to come here for a trip? Nicole replied, wishing not to give him a proper answer. Carl noticed that Nicole was mad at him, and so, he had to make the first move and apologize. Don't get too upset at me, okay? You know I said those things because I was worried about you. Since you're here already, you can stay as long as you want. I'll definitely protect you. Now, that sounds a lot better. I thought you were about to bite my head off, for a second there. Nicole walked past him, noticing that he was looking down at the floor. Seeing that Nicole had calmed down, Carl continued asking, So, can you tell me now? Did you come here for something? Carrie stared at Nicole's eyes and sized her up. She must have gotten herself into trouble. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come to such a dangerous place without telling me. Or am I wrong, and that she simply misses me? It's because of you. We haven't met in such a long time, so I thought of giving you a surprise. Nicole replied, not wanting to tell him the truth, as she was being tailed by a group of unknown people. Carrie's base was the best possible safe house for her, in part because there were a lot of men from the Raven guarding each and every point of entry. The people tailing her could never enter the place. Even if they managed to break through and survive the Raven's assault, they would not be able to reach the base. If she had told Carl about it, he would have become more worried, and bombarded her with more questions. Nicole did not want to complicate things. The best way out for her was for her to deal with the people as discreetly as possible. As for the person who had sounded the alarm, she would discover who he was once she met Zeke. Surprise me? No one would believe you. Carl looked at Nicole with his brows furrowed. Indeed, she had given him an excuse, thinking she could fool him the way she could fool a kid. It's up to you whether you choose to buy it or not. After all, I really did come here to give you a surprise. Nicole said with a look of indifference on her face. Then, she closed her eyes and took a nap. I'm going to take a nap, she said. You should get busy. Did she just give me an order to leave? Carl glanced at Nicole, turned around and left. Then, he gently closed the door behind him and went to the master control room. Hearing the door closing, Nicole opened her eyes and tiptoed to the door. She heaved a sigh of relief after Carl had walked away. I did not expect Carl to have such a keen eye. He could actually tell that I was lying to him. Did my expression give it away? I guess it wouldn't be easy to keep it a secret from Carl. Are there any strange occurrences outside? Carl walked into the master control room and asked. Nothing unusual, but it seems that there are few members from the Raven hovering outside the base, his subordinates reported to him. Hovering? Can we see them? Carl asked. We can see some of them, his subordinate said. However, we can't see them clearly because they are a little too far away. Zoom in. All they could see was a small group of people, who were busy doing something at the entrance road to the base. The corner of Carl's lips curled up in response, forming a prideful smile. It must be the place where Nicole had broken through, he said. They must be recovering from the ambush. Keep a close eye on them. Don't let them enter, Carl ordered. Understood. Then, Carl went down to examine all of the sites at the base. As he was walking past the production site, he noticed Olaf there, and went in. Olaf, are the droids ready to resume operation? Carl asked. Almost. The only part that needs to be repaired are these. The rest are pretty much done, Olaf reported the situation to him as he saw Carl approaching. That's good. We must resume production as soon as possible. We are in crucial need of powerful droids like Brave. Carl looked at Olaf solemnly and said, Understood. Olaf returned the stare with the same degree of seriousness. He knew of the Brave's importance to everyone. If it wasn't for Brave, they might have been overwhelmed and defeated by the Raven, with the Brave falling into their hands as well. Thank you for your hard work. I'll proceed to the other departments now. Carl patted Olaf's shoulder and left. As soon as he reached door D, Carl noticed that the workers looked exhausted. Seeing this, he asked, How long have you guys been guarding this section? We've been here for 5 days. 5 days. Kerry stopped and thought for a moment. Then, he took his walkie-talkie out and ordered, The guards who have been watching the doors will be heading to the lounge to catch some rest. Group 4 will take their post over. Understood. After he had given his orders, Carl continued to the next area for his inspection. Meanwhile, Nicole, who was in the room, had already woken up from her nap. Checking the time, she realized that it was already evening. She stood up and stretched contentedly. For the past few days, she had not gotten any good sleep, as she had been too busy hiding herself from that group of people who were following her. It was only after arriving in Carl's base that she had finally managed to get a good sleep. Then, Nicole whipped her phone out to contact Zeke, as she wanted to know where he was. Zeke, are you safe? However, even after waiting for a few minutes, she did not hear back from Zeke. Noticing this, she guessed that Zeke might still be on the run, and therefore, it was inconvenient for him to give her a reply at once. It was at that moment that Nicole's stomach began to rumble. She knew she had to eat something to satiate her hunger first. She walked out of the room to find that nobody was in the corridor. Nicole then walked toward the opposite direction from where she had come, and after covering several yards, a group of people on patrol duty appeared in front of her. Having spotted someone at last, Nicole hurried over and yelled, Hey! Wait! The instant the squad heard her voice, they suddenly stopped and whirled around. Upon noticing that it was Nicole, they immediately stood at attention. As those men were from Zane's organization, they could recognize her. Where is the cafeteria? Nicole asked casually, for even if they were her subordinates, she would have to fill her own stomach first. It's downstairs, one of them replied. Okay. You may continue with your patrol duty. Nicole ordered them with a stern look on her face. Roger that. The team then continued patrolling the base. Nicole followed their directions and made her way downstairs. On her way though, she bumped into Carl. You're up. Carl asked as he noticed Nicole coming down. Yeah. Where are you heading to? Carl continued. I want to grab something to eat at the cafeteria, Nicole replied bluntly, as there was no shame in being starved. All of you may head back to the lounge to catch a break. Carl ordered the band of mercenaries behind him. Got it, they said. Then, Carl turned back to Nicole and said, I'm hungry too. Let's go there together. Carl proceeded to make his way downstairs with Nicole following closely behind him. Although this is a production base, the internal structures are a little complex. Here, take this. Carl passed a walkie-talkie to Nicole. Nicole grabbed and pocketed it. Then, she looked at Carl and asked, "It's just a production base. Why do things have to be so complicated?" "I don't know. Perhaps it was designed as such in fear of saboteurs breaking in," he replied. In fact, it had taken Carl an entire day to familiarize himself with the whole place. "I guess the man at the helm of Curly Corporation must have anticipated that this day would come when he built this place." Nicole pondered as she walked. "Well, who knows?" Carl said. "It is only right that they take such necessary precautions, as this is an important project. Otherwise, the Ravens' forces wouldn't have made so little progress in their last assault. Now that I think about it, it's all thanks to the complex structure that we had gained enough precious time to equip the Brave and send the Raven back," he continued. The instant Nicole heard those words, she looked at Carl in shock. The Ravens' forces had launched an attack before. It was then that Carl realized that he had accidentally spilled a secret. He coughed awkwardly and said, "It's all in the past. Here's the cafeteria." Hearing this, Nicole could tell that Carl was obviously avoiding her question. Meanwhile, Carl knew what Nicole liked to eat, so he ordered 2 portions and placed them in front of Nicole. "These are your favorite dishes. Give them a taste and let me know if it's authentic or not." Carl looked at Nicole with a smile on his face. However, Nicole's was still thinking about what Carl had said. Carl, did you get hurt?" Although talking about the past was of no use to any of them, Nicole was still concerned if Carl had sustained any injuries. "Nope. With my skills and experiences, how could I get hurt? Let's not talk about it anymore. Try this food. I doubt it'd be as good once it's cold," Carl said, not wanting to discuss this matter anymore. "Thank God you're fine," Nicole said, feeling relieved. "It seems like it has been a while since we last had a meal together." Nicole looked at Carl. "Yeah, it'd seem that way," he said. "But you still remember my favorite dishes," she replied. "Of course, and it's not just your favorite dishes. I still remember all the things that you like." Carl was taken aback by his own words too, the same words he had blurted without a second thought. "Nicole, the car that you drove here was modified. So, it seems that you came here prepared." Carl raised his eyebrows and asked. "That's right. Things are quite messy out here. On top of that, you're guarding the base, so it's safe to say that things can get pretty dangerous. It's only right for me to come here prepared. Otherwise, I'd be driving myself into my own grave." Nicole smirked. "Speaking of which, I suddenly remembered something important." Nicole's face assumed a more solemn expression. "What is it?" he asked. "Before I came over, I went snooping around the Ravens' command post. The one who's taking the lead this time around is Kara," Nicole said, reporting her findings to Carl. The moment Carl heard those words, his eyes widened in shock. "You went to the Ravens' command post? Do you have a death wish?" "Don't get so worked up. I'm still alive and well, am I not?" Nicole immediately assured when she noticed his expression. "Nicole, I think you're becoming too much of a daredevil. You actually have the guts to break into the Ravens' command post alone. Do you know how dangerous it is?" Carl could not calm himself down. Nicole's recklessness did indeed bother him. Undeniably, Nicole was a very capable woman, who could dwarf him in skill and experience. However, the Ravens' command post was not the safest place to be. Carl was already worried and angry that Nicole had taken the risk to find him at the base, but little did he know that Nicole had gone ahead to inspect the Ravens' command post before arriving here. As such, he was on the verge of fainting upon hearing that from her. "Calm down," she said, attempting to put him at ease, but to no avail. "Sit down," Nicole yelled, as her gentle approach was not taken kindly. Hearing the sudden outburst from her, Carl calmed himself down and sat down slowly. However, his eyes were still brimming with anger and anxiety. "It isn't as bad as you imagine," she said. "Besides, I've experienced worse throughout the years. A small command post wouldn't give me any trouble." "But," Carl uttered, but as soon as his eyes met Nicole's, he swallowed the words that he was about to say. "I know you're worried about me, and that you think that I was acting rashly. But let me assure you, I wouldn't do things that I'm not certain about. Besides, I've gained a lot of intel from this visit, Nicole said, and once she had finished her sentence, a wicked smile crossed her face. Carr looked at Nicole's face with his brows furrowed. What do you mean? Now, we not only know where the Ravens' command post is, but we also know who is leading them. Wouldn't you say that such information is essential? Nicole asked as she raised her eyebrows. Definitely. As the saying goes, to know one's own strength and the enemy's is the surest way to victory. Carl replied. That's right. I don't really know much about Kara, but now that we know their name, it'll be easy for me to look up this person's details. On top of that, with our knowledge of the command post's exact location, we can do a precision strike when we need to. Nicole said with a smirk. If we can defeat them, we'd rid ourselves of the current obstacle, clearing a path for our supplies to enter. And the cherry on top. We'll be free to transport our items in and out while we set up defenses at key areas. When that is done, it would be a lot easier for us to bring our supplies in. Nicole explained the plan as she looked Carl in the eyes. You're right. If we do that, we could cripple the Ravens' forces, and they would lose one of their key members. That's one hurdle out of the way if we ever wish to take them down in the future, Carl said, having finally understood Nicole's intentions. A look of admiration then appeared on his face. Nicole, you're really amazing. I guess everything is in your hands now. Moments ago, I was still concerned about your safety. I didn't stop to think that you had such a brilliant strategy in mind. All I can say is, I'm actually pretty happy to have you here. Carl said, finally speaking his mind. Nicole looked at him with a smile. We've known each other for years. Do you think I wouldn't know what you're up to? Let's finish this quickly. Later on, we'll go to the central control room and discuss our next step in detail. Nicole said to Carl. All right. After they were done eating, the both of them made their way to the central control room. Then, Carl brought a map out for Nicole to peruse. Take a look. This is where we're at now. Carl pointed on the map for Nicole. It seems like that person wasn't lying. There really are 2 entrances and 2 exit routes. Nicole stared at the map of the base and said. Then, she carefully searched for the command post where Kara was. This is the main street. This is. Why can't I find it? Nicole asked, unable to locate the command post even after staring at the map for a long time. We're not in a hurry. Come, sit down and look through it slowly. Carl advised. I'm not in a hurry. This map doesn't seem to be detailed enough. Do you have a more detailed one? Nicole asked, thinking that she could not have misinterpreted or overlooked anything on the map. Let me find it. Carl opened a drawer and began to flip through the stack within it. I found it. There's a better one here. Carl took the map out and laid it open on the table. This one is a lot more detailed compared to the one before. Nicole commented before continuing to locate the Ravens' command post. I found it. Where? Carl hurried over to see.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.